So welcome to day 23 of my trip to Roscoff. Now this is the charming little house in Regensburg where I have a little apartment in the basement, and I'm staying here for 2 nights, last night and tonight, and I'll take you downstairs now and show you the inside. Before I do, just mention that my itinerary day is to go out to the Valhalla Pantheon, just to the east of Regensburg, at half an hour's bike ride, and then come back and have lunch and spend the afternoon in the town. So anyway, I'll show you downstairs. Well, as you can see, as with Jedstetten at the Rhine Falls, I've really been lucky with my choice of accommodation. This is the bathroom just to the right of the door as you enter. This is the main living area. There's a little dining table, etc. And we just missed, that's a second bed, pull-out bed to put another couple if it's needed. Actually, I'm not going to need that, and I'm just using it as a dressing table. Here's the little galley kitchen, lovely fridge, which is behind this door here. Glass top, etc. Little sitting area with a TV, again not going to use that. And a lovely little sleeping area with a very comfortable bed. And so actually very comfortable accommodation again. Well, this is one of the great landmarks on this route which I've come to see. This is the Valhalla Pantheon, built by King Ludwig I of Bavaria in 1842 to replicate the Athenian Parthenon. And it was built to celebrate all the great and good of the Germanic peoples. And so in here are celebrated people like Bismarck and philosophers such as Goethe and Nietzsche, painters and musicians, composers, Beethoven, Bach, Mozart, etc. But interestingly enough, there are also people with more tenuous connections to the German people who are celebrated here, including 3 English kings: Alfred the Great, his father Egbert, William II, William of Orange, and the Venerable Bede, of course the great chronicler of the Dark Ages, our main source of information and history from the Dark Ages. Now I don't know whether I'll be allowed to use the camera inside, but if I am allowed, I'll show you some of the stuff that's in there, but if not, that's a summary of what's in there. Well, surprisingly, they're very happy for me to film with my GoPro in here, which is a pleasant surprise. But what is not a surprise is that King Ludwig, King of Bavaria, takes pride and place in this great pantheon. So anyway, I'm not going to show you every single bust and describe who everybody was, but here are all the busts of the great and the good. I might try and find Alfred and the Venerable Bede, who will be interesting to see from my perspective at least. But just as a side note, I strongly doubt whether Corporal Schicklgruber, or otherwise known as Adolf Hitler, will make it in here anytime soon. But you never know who might write the next chapter of history. don't think you can actually see the plaque up there. The bottom right hand one is the plaque for Alfred the Great, and the opposite end of that stretch, the top left hand corner, is Egbert, King of England. I also found the bust of William of Orange, which is down there, and also I found the plaque for the Venerable Bede, which is up there. And not surprisingly, they haven't got busts for these gentlemen because nobody really knows what they looked like. There we are. So I thought I'd give you a slightly different perspective of this wonderful building from the outside, and tomorrow I'll show it to you from the river, and I'm going to go down and have a look at the river and have a chat about that in a minute. So this is the river Danau, the Danube, which I'm following, and now is as good a time as any to have a little bit of a chat about it and its significance in the Roman era. Now, the Romans exploited beyond the Rhine and the Danube, in the west here and the east, quite persistently for quite a long time, even reaching as far as the Weser River in Germany, northern Germany. But in the end it proved not worth the trouble, not just after the loss of 3 legions in 9 AD in the Teutoburger forest, but generally it was too difficult to control and protect and too expensive. So they withdrew in the west behind the Rhine, and in the south here beyond or to the Danube. And they built forts along here and garrisoned them. And one of the forts that they built is over there. That's the city of Regensburg. And they garrisoned that. And effectively over the years they became trading posts between the Roman Empire and the peoples that lived north of the Danube. And after the Roman period, those trading posts developed into cities, and Regensburg is one of them, and all the major cities along the Danube have the same origins. Of course, the Danube and the Rhine come very close together at their headwaters, only a day's march in the area of Tuttlingen, where I came across from Lake Constance. And that gap was well protected by the Schwarzwald, the Black Forest, which is quite a hilly, densely forested area, so well protected that gap between the two rivers. So they made very effective barriers for the Roman Empire for centuries. Tomorrow I'll be riding my bike along the path that you can see down there.
Yeah. Well, we've just been riding as well.
Have you?
Yeah.
So who are you?
We're a group that are riding from Moselle to Mozart.
Oh, wonderful.
A group called Peak Tours.
Oh, right. So you're with a group?
Yeah.
A tour group?
Yeah.
And they carrying all your kit for you? So you're doing sort of hotel to bed and breakfast type thing all the way along?
Yeah.
So you started in Germany on
started near Frankfurt.
Near Frankfurt, on the Rhine?
And on the Rhine. And then we travelled across to meet the Rhine.
Yes.
So the Moselle River to meet the Rhine.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Then yesterday into Bavaria, or the day before into Bavaria, met the river.
So how did you get from the Rhine to the Danube? Did you cycle that, or did they
cycle?
So you went across the Black Forest, or through the Black Forest?
Through the forest, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So how far up the Rhine did you come? Did you come as far as Lake Constance?
No. How far did we come, Debbie?
No, I don't know.
No. He's getting more details of our route.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you go on the Peak Tours website,
Yes.
they'll show the itinerary.
Oh, nice.
It was mainly
great.
along the Moselle.
Then into
the
the
Rhine.
Rhine.
We
Yeah.
hit the confluence where they merge.
Yes, yes, I know it.
Then
Yeah,
went along the Rhine for a bit. And then
yeah, and then you came across. Yeah.
going to Vienna.
Now, why are you being shy? Does your husband not know you're here? Is that your problem?
I've had a bee sting on my face, so I'm a bit
Oh
swollen.
my! Oh, you can't tell.
No, it's gone down a bit now, but I'm
You
still,
poor
I'm still a bit jowly.
Your poor thing. You poor thing.
But you're a
Okay.
cyclist yourself, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I've spent the rest of the day in Regensburg, and I've had a lovely lunch at the town square, and I've spent an hour or so just riding round the city centre in the mainly pedestrian area, and I thought it would be just worth my while giving you a flavour for what it's like here. So I thought I'd just ride down this street here, which will give you a reasonably good flavour for the town of Regensburg. Now the streets are cobbled, so the film might be a little bit wobbly, but I'll have to ask you to forgive me for that. But at least this will give you some idea of what Regensburg is like. I hope I can get down here without having to come off my bike, which would be a bonus. So lots of little alleyways and roads, and if you're into shopping, there's some really lovely shops here. In fact, I went into an outdoor shop, which I shouldn't have done, I know, because I spent an absolute fortune on things I'm sure I don't really need, but there you go. So I'll just turn up here, because a little way up here is the cathedral, which they're doing work on, but might as well show you anyway. Hope this film isn't too wobbly. If it is, I probably won't show it, but so I'm going to stop here if I can without falling off, and show you the cathedral. So that gives you a flavour for Regensburg. So I'll end today's recording here. So I've just been reviewing the videos that I've taken today, and I've noticed to my horror that I've been referring to Regensburg as Regensburg almost without exception all the way through the clips that I've been taking. So I must just correct myself. It is Regensburg where I have been today, not Regensburg.